Hello? Yeah, is that Oxford City Council? Great stuff. I'd like to book the city centre early May next year, maybe even actually late April. Keep both options open if that's possible. You can, great. Also, can you recommend an open-top bus company? Okay, wait there, I'm just writing that down. That's great. Thanks very much.
Matt, hold on. While you're on the line, can you just ask whether we can have a statue of BDK erected in Cornmarket Street by then?
You heard that? Oh, great. We'll have to go through planning. Okay, understood. And that could take a very, very long time. In fact, it could take ages. Okay. No worries. I'll tell you what, let's speak in the new year. Right, sorry about that, Dan. Shall we get on with the pod?
Run that sting.
The big man with a big goal on the big occasion.
Yes, welcome to episode 5 of series 2 of the You Are My Oxford podcast. We're not going to get too overexcited just yet, are we? Episode. After all, it was only a dominant win at third place and previously unbeaten Bristol City. Dan, what we got coming up today?
I thought we might chat about Sunday's win, actually.
It's probably a good idea, to be fair.
Also, Theo wants to come on and talk about Brian, the sheer smacker's influence on the team. We're also going to ask where that ranks in our best ever win since returning to the Championship. I believe, Matt, you're going to get nostalgic this week. You've picked a great match from our past.
Oh, it's a proper one. Hopefully it's one that kind of people might remember. If they don't remember it or have never heard about it, it's an absolute classic. A game that I was there, I was in the ground, I wasn't in the away end, I was in the home end. That's giving something away. But I'm really looking forward to speaking about it. And in particular, an absolute special one-off game-winning performance. And for a change, you'll like this. I'm going to set a quiz. And given our next game is obviously is on Saturday and it's against Sheffield United, and that means obviously it's against Chris Wilder, I'm going to set you a bit of a Chris Wilder quiz. How does that sound? Can you name Chris Wilder's starting 11 in his last ever game as Oxford United manager? So I want kind of 1 to 11, the starting 11. In Chris Wilder's final ever game as Oxford United manager. And then I'm going to give you a bonus point or bonus points for the 2 subs that came on that day. And I'll not even give you bonus points. I'll give you double bonus points. So just to give you a teaser and a little starter and to hopefully help you out, because it might kind of rack your brains if you were there. Oxford United were at home that day.
I remember the game. I remember
played against
Torquay.
Correct.
And
it was a winter game. Can you remember kind of what month it was? What time of year?
Winter.
Yeah, winter. Saturday, the 25th of January, 2014, ended up being Chris Wilder's final game as Oxford United manager. And just to get you going, get you thinking, what was the score? Can you remember the score that day?
I remember we won quite narrowly. All I remember afterwards was I was listening to Wasn't It the Game or whatever it's called in those days, and Jerome knew something was up.
There we go. I won the 1 to 11, the final starting lineup from Chris Wilder, and then an extra bonus point for the goal scorer that day, and then double your bonus points for the 2 subs that came on.
There's a lot of points on offer here.
It is a lot of points on offer. You could go straight to the top of the league. Okay, as ever, answers at the very end of the pod. Well, let's get on with the good news then. Those early reports, the doomsayers, i.e. Dan and I, got it very wrong that this is going to be a very, very long season. And actually, things are very much looking up, I think it's fair to say. Dan, you messaged me after the Leicester game and said, we're good. Now I can see why. I mean, what a performance. One of the best that we've had in recent seasons. Is incredible.
So I have a slight confession, Matt, which is that I didn't watch it live. I have watched it back. I've watched the highlights, even the extended version, which I found on some dodgy YouTube site. But I only got back from a work trip very early on Sunday morning, had a little snooze, and then I'd been volunteered by my wife to do a barbecue at the cricket club.
I
was listening whilst barbecuing, had Radio Oxford on in the background. We got to 2-1, at which point my phone ran out of battery. So the last 10 minutes, we were 2-1 up, had absolutely no idea. Eventually found my son, who said, we won 3-1. So that we...
Mate,
what a performance!
What a performance! I should probably own up. I was not at the game. I was actually also flying back from work. But I did watch it on TV. I got home a couple of hours before kickoff. Watched it. It was incredible. I mean, Dan, where shall we start? Shall we start? I think a good place to start is just BDK, and I know we'll speak about him later in more detail, but BDK and his free kicks. I mentioned it in the last pod, that ball that he whipped around for Lancashire, whippage, and it was a very similar one that he put on Prelic's head for the opening goal. That boy has a ping on him.
Oh, the whippage. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll watch that all day long. Yeah.
I think Oxford fans are very excited. And then a moment in the game which actually was absolutely pivotal, and that's Brodie Spencer's clearance off the line, which I've watched it so many times, and it is proper athletic, and it was going in.
It defies the laws of physics. I just literally have no idea how he did that. Like, to get the timing and everything so right, because he could have just dived in and volleyed it straight into the top corner, which is exactly what 99% of people would have done.
Yeah.
But to get his foot underneath it and then hook it out, unbelievable. Absolutely.
The awareness, exactly that, of where he was in relation to the goal and clearing it was fantastic. So that was obviously a high point. And then again last week, or when we spoke last, Dan, I was a bit critical of not critical of our wingers, but we were saying that we don't have a complete performance winger at the moment. If only we could meld them all together, then we would have the perfect winger. Well,
did you do that last week, Matt? Did you meld them all together?
Maybe I did that. Maybe that's why Tyler was nowhere to be seen as well. Maybe they've done something in the medical room to fix them all together. But Placheta, when he's on fire, I love to watch him, and he's not afraid to have a little strike from outside the box, as we saw last season. I think it was against Plymouth, wasn't it? And this one reminded me a bit of that, although obviously this was a lot more kind of instantaneous and had to get away the shot really quickly rather than pick his spot. But when he was running at players, I thought from like the first minute, I thought he's going to cause them a lot of problems today. And I was really pleased for him. He looked really happy. And good for him.
Yeah, unbelievable shot. It seemed to me, Matt, he kicked it from, I guess, whichever way, from the right-hand side of the goal as you're facing it. And he was outside the right-hand post. Mm-hmm. And he hit it, and it seemed to swerve so much that it actually hit the side netting of the inside of the goal, which is incredible, to put that much bend in it, to get it inside the post and then still hit the inside of the net before it hits the back of the net. Unbelievable.
Should we speak about Pelé? Because
I think we're
all feeling good about him after that. And also, he wasn't playing like that kind of out and out kind of bustling number 9. He was playing like I think everyone's calling it a 10. And gosh, he caused some problems, didn't he?
He's a player. He's a real player. He's just, I really like him. So, Matt, I have a little funny thing to say, which is on my WhatsApp group with my OUFC mates, I predicted beforehand a 3-1 win with Prelic scoring. I said twice. I thought he was going to score twice. I think there's a hell of a player there.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do. Yeah.
So out of all of them, he's the one that you're kind of looking at.
I know, I'm excited about all of them. I think, as we've already established, I think we are now very excited about this season. I think we have a very dangerous looking front line, so different to last year. I mean, I wonder, is Paris going to feature?
I know. Well, I think it was mentioned on other podcasts, which we won't name, but I sometimes dip into just to hear what the competition is talking about. And, if you look at this game last season, which was pretty much exactly a year ago, I think, and we were talking about that Harris missed chance, and obviously Rodriguez, scoring our goal, and kind of those key men, key players, just, we're not even really thinking about them now. And we're like a year on, and we've got this whole, exciting attacking front line, and it was just a really exciting kind of away performance, wasn't it?
I think we've upgraded. Haven't we, from last year?
I think our kind of starting 11, our kind of starting team is kind of very, very exciting. And I said that kind of at half time during the game, but actually also the subs came on Sunday and really impressed as well. So, I'm excited, Dan.
The third goal, Matt, where are you standing on it?
Mate, I'll give it Greg Lee every day of the week.
Do you?
Yeah. No, just because I like it, I'm not necessarily sure if he got a touch. But, he wheeled away in that kind of way. He loves a goal, doesn't he? And he wheeled away as if that's mine. So I'll give him it.
There's a social that the club has put out, and the club social has been better actually this week, I think.
But good. I wonder if they've listened to us, Dan. I was going to mention that to you.
God, we have a lot of listeners, Matt. We have a lot of listeners. So, it could well be that all around the club they are tuning in.
If you are from the Oxford United social team and you have listened in and our words did get listened to, please let us know. We won't let the listeners know, but it would just be nice for us to know.
There's one angle of the third goal, and it's their own filming. It's not a Sky filming. And just as it goes over Greg Lee's head, you can hear a little flick, like snickometer in the cricket.
Snicko.
Little snicko. So I reckon he did just get a little touch on it. But I also think as well, right, it's one of those goals that is a perfect goal just to split in two. Have half each. Because if it wasn't for the great ball in, right, Greg Lee wouldn't have got there, right? And, it wouldn't have gone in. But if it wasn't for Greg Lee's run across, the keeper would have saved it. So it is literally a half and half. Just split it. Half a goal each.
I'm writing an email to FIFA now to try and change the rules. Wouldn't it be great if players ended the season with 21 and a half goals and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Because that is the perfect case of a goal that should be split in two. So, it reminds me, Matt, of my only goal for Raging Fever, which was the fans' football team. Now, honestly, right, it probably wasn't my goal, but I'd set up this team and I played about 10 or 11 games and never scored. And it's about my last ever game because I knew I was going to retire shortly. And somebody took a corner. I was at the near post and the corner's scuffed. And I went for a little flick, when there's through the leg flicks. And there was a defender behind me. He was so put off by my extravagant flick that it hit his leg and went into the bottom corner. Now, obviously, I have to claim that.
Half a goal right there, mate.
And that would have been my only goal for Raging Fever. So I'm claiming it. If it wasn't for my extravagant attempted flick, which I may or may not have got a little brush on.
Mate, I'll give you half a goal for that.
Thanks very much. I shall a FIFA. And you just the record.
Dear Arsene Wenger. So we obviously got a bit overexcited at the very top of this show this week, but I must admit, Dan, on Monday morning, the first Google search that I did was promotion odds, Oxford United.
Go on, hit me.
So you can still get us at 200 to 1.
Is that what promotion or champions?
That's promotion.
Via playoffs or playoffs?
Yeah, that's just promotion. So
I mean,
it's probably worth a tenner, isn't it?
I mean, I don't think there's an outstanding team this year.
Well, yeah. If you look at some of the teams that came down as well, they're struggling slightly. So, yeah, it's interesting.
When we briefly were messaging earlier on, we did vaguely mention this, and I was a little concerned that if we are doing that well, let's say we get to January and we're in with a sniff, then it's because some of our new players are literally tearing it up. And I would worry at that point that somebody's going to come in and steal BDK for us for a huge amount of money.
Do you not think that would be an end of season thing rather than a January thing? We'd have to do very, very well between now and then.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I think it's worth a couple of quid. I'm not a gambling man, but yeah, you could,
I should have done it before Bristol, but I didn't quite have the balls. Now, we've established that neither of us was there yesterday, and in Dan's case, he wasn't even watching. So to give our hugely popular podcast some street credibility, we're crossing now to our West Country correspondent, that man Theo, of course, who's joining us from his Stats Kitchen as ever there in Bristol itself. I think that's right. Theo, a real kind of home game for you, effectively. How was it for you? Good day out?
Well, quite literally, because I'm going to lose some of my credibility by saying I was in the home end in the family area with my son. But great day out, met loads of yellows this is so Bristol, it's perfect, at a pirate festival on the harbour. Just really, really kicking off the stereotypes of the Southwest. some nice beer, some nice food, bit of shanties, and then a fantastic 3 points.
Now, Theo, you want to talk specifically about BDK. We have saved this for you. We only mentioned him a little bit earlier. The Sky commentator was comparing his free kicks to Kevin De Bruyne. Is that harsh on Brian, do you think?
Well, you joke, but I think there is someone who might actually have to make a decision about who's taking free kicks. And this is my 2026 prediction. De Keersmatter to go and play at the World Cup. Now, I was looking at the Belgian squad. Obviously, you've got De Bruyne in there. You've got Tielemans at Villa. You've got Onana also at Villa, both fantastic Premier League players. But below that, you've got a Rangers midfielder and 2 midfielders who play in Belgium. Now, are we honestly saying the Championship's not on a par or above the standard of those leagues? Could he make it?
Oh, I love this. I love this, Theo.
I think he could. I think if he keeps going like this, how could he not be considered?
Have an Oxford United player at World Cup to follow.
So I also looked up. I don't think we've ever had Oxford United current player to World Cup. I think we've had 4 or possibly 5 who've gone on to play. Can you name any of them?
4 or 5 who've gone on to play at a World Cup.
Yeah, played for Oxford and then gone on to play afterwards. Okay.
Renzi.
Andre Renzi played 11 times for Oxford and in the 2002 World Cup for South Africa.
Houghton.
Houghton, played at 1990 and 94.
And John Aldridge, because he was on the touchline ranting at a linesman.
Exactly. Then there's a goalkeeper who actually won the last World Cup. It's Emi Martinez. And I've got Mark Wright down.
Mark Wright, of course. Yeah.
So there we go. Could he be the first current Oxford player to play at the World Cup? There's my prediction. Look, we don't need the stats to tell you how brilliant he was on Sunday. He was everywhere. He obviously got the 2 assists, maybe a goal, still not sure. But you flick through his numbers and he's just exceptional for such an all-rounded, brilliant midfielder. His passing, his tackling, interceptions, he's leading on almost all of those statistics in the match. And actually, when you look on over the course of the whole season, he's as good as it gets in the Championship for all of those things, rating in the top 10% for pass accuracy, chances created, cross accuracy, tackles won, interceptions, recoveries. And he's an exceptional find. And we're very lucky to have him.
Kind of surprising stats you want to bring up from Sunday?
Well, I kind of have to mention Sam Long as a wonderful stand-in again, always ever reliable. It seems to be getting better and better.
So good.
He had the most shots of anyone on the pitch, joint with Will Lancashire. None of them on target. I think one hit the post, maybe.
Yeah, hit the post.
Hit the post. And an XG of those 4 shots combined of 0.13. So maybe have a little word with Sam Long in terms of stop shooting 25 yards. So Philip Krastev, who we maybe agree had a slightly quieter game compared to some of the other standout performances going forward, did want to highlight what a great job he was doing for the team defensively in terms of defensive contributions, which FootMob defines as tackles, interceptions, blocks, etc. He had the most of any non-defender on the pitch. So really playing an important role in sort of this solid away performance that we saw. And just like we obviously we all feel quite optimistic about what we saw on Sunday, but we can make a comparison about this away win to Millwall and Sheffield Wednesday that we had last season. And it's just night and day, the comparison between these 2 games or 3 games. On Sunday, we just basically dominated every statistic: XG, shots on target, passes in the opposition's half. And take those Millwall and Sheffield Wednesday games, and we were basically just holding on, and the other team had all of the ball, and they were scrappy away 1-0 wins, whereas this was fully deserved.
Theo, you sent us a great stat in the group as well, comparing this season to last season. Why don't you tell our amazing audience what that stat was?
Yeah, so the context of it was, how our attackers, especially Romney, did last season, and how they might fit in with all these fantastic new attacking players we seem to have. And I was trying to be positive about, especially Romney, when he comes back and what he can do. And just to highlight how seem to be a completely different attacking unit compared to where we were for the second half of last season. We've managed 18 shots 4 times already this season. Bristol City, Brighton, Leicester, and I can't remember the other game, one other. We only managed that twice in the whole of last season in the League and Cup. We are, and I think Brian de Kersmaker is probably playing a massive role in this, just a much more functioning attacking team. And I'm excited to see all of the players slot into it.
Forget the kind of Gary Rowett pragmatic approach. It does seem like we've now got the players who can actually go and play a bit more of an expansive kind of football this season, and it's exciting.
It's really exciting. And Rowett said in his interview he had a big choice between Harris and Prelic to make on Sunday, who would start in that 10. And I thought his analysis of that decision was so astute, in that he realised that they were playing 3 at the back. So essentially having 2 strikers could occupy those 3, which they did brilliantly. And then that gave especially Shemi so much space on the wing. Whenever their left wing back went forward, we were away whenever we got the ball. And so I think Rowett deserves a lot of credit for that decision.
It's sounding almost like a proper football podcast now, with real statistical chat. I'm going to make it much more in our style. We're saying that's our best ever win since we returned to the Championship. Where does it rank, boys? Where do you rank it in our best wins since returning to the Championship?
I mean, it's up there. I mean, we mentioned Sheffield Wednesday a bit ago. I particularly enjoyed that, just for the moment it came in the season, the fact that Sam Long scored, away victories last season like hen's teeth. So just felt even more special. But this is right up there.
Definitely right up there. The one I mentioned is Sunderland, the 2-0 win at home to Sunderland, who then went on to win the playoffs. Yes, they didn't really care about that game. The fact it secured our place in the league, that still feels like a big one. But in terms of most impressive wins, I can't think of anything better that we've done in the last 12 months.
I still love the Norwich game, our first game back, which was just a beautiful, beautiful day. It's like, oh my God, we're here. So where are we going to rank it? Give me a ranking, boys. I'm going to let you decide this one.
I'm going to go number 1, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the season. But I'm going to say it's number 1.
Yeah, I'm going to go number 1 as well. It's the week after, recency bias and all that. It's the best performance in the Championship.
Agreed. I'm going to go for number 1 also. Although the next few wins are going to be even better, I reckon. As we charge up the table, the promotion party starting now.
Exactly that. So I'd also like to talk about one other player, and I am absolutely loving Will Lancashire at the moment. What an asset. I want to talk about him because he's just been absolutely phenomenal and just what we needed.
Matt, if there's anybody I want to talk to about strikers, it's you. You know so much about rippling the old onion bag. So tell me why. Give me what your lowdown is on this.
Yeah. I know so much about strikers, and I know so much about, kind of inside players and what makes them tick, that I completely wrote him off in episode 1.
No need to mention that again. We'll just keep mentioning
the exact
that.
words I said?
I think you said very unexcited. Something like, it's like you mentioned Dane Scarlett and said, I'm just totally not excited.
Another Dane Scarlett. I know Dane Scarlett was all right, but yeah, obviously I didn't quite get that one right. And what I love about him is that he's 20 years old? But he's a big lad. He puts himself about, and he's one of those attackers that, a centre back will after 10 minutes go, I'm not going to enjoy this afternoon, and this is just going to be too much of a battle, and he's just going to give me, he's just going to be nasty all day, and he's just going to make my life hard. Goes up, throws a tackle in, chases balls down, puts a bit of needle in, probably goes over the top a bit with tackles, goes up for headers, but he's the thing that I love about him most, he's so desperate to score. And I think that's what we've been missing from a number 9, in recent seasons, is that kind of desperation to score. And 100% Lancashire would have come off that pitch on Sunday and gone, I'm really happy about the win, but I'm gutted I didn't score. And I think you really want that kind of fire in the belly from every striker. So, no, he's turning firmly into a fan's favourite. And I'm here for it. I like him.
Again, I'm slightly worried, Matt, because he's on loan. Maybe we don't want him to be too good, just in case he gets recalled.
You're worried about all our players being too good.
Well, maybe I'm not used to it, right? But there's just a danger, isn't there? That, if he's doing brilliantly well, I mean, he's not going to get into the Tottenham first team, but maybe they'd want to push him like to a club slightly higher up. I don't know. But, then again, if we're, in the upper half of the table and he's scoring lots of goals, then, they'll be thinking, well, he's doing really well there. This is great for his development. Maybe, and he probably wouldn't want to move if everything's going well.
Of course, you know how the famous saying goes, don't you?
Go on, Matt.
Never fall in love with a lone striker.
True that.
Little story for you. I not quite fell in love, but certainly was taken very quickly to a certain striker called Guy Whittingham. But after he scored on his debut at Swindon, not sure if you remember this, Dan, he was recalled by Portsmouth, and what should have been the perfect match, the beautiful romance, turned literally into a one afternoon stand. Remember that?
Remember it well, but I guess one afternoon at the county ground's enough for anyone, really. Not the best place to take a first date there, Matt. I'm not going to... I guess we never know how that would have worked out. I mean, I was fascinated when we signed him because he was just this guy who was an absolute goal monster. And I was amazed when we got him because we were really struggling that season. He was just the perfect signing for us, and then scored, and then he was recalled by Pompey, as you say. Two of our best ever strikers joined on loan initially. Who am I thinking of, Matt?
Trevor Aylock?
Nearly, yeah, nearly.
Jamie Guy?
Try again, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Two of our best
You've
ever.
thrown this one at me.
I have thrown it.
Strikers.
Okay. Constable joined on loan for his first season.
Yes. And one other, did you say?
One other. Probably, in terms of skill, one of our greatest ever players, I would say, in terms of skill. Still playing now. I think he's still playing now.
Hilton?
No.
Taylor?
No. Roof. The Roofmeister.
Oh, of course. Who did he join on loan for?
West Brom. We had 6 or 7 games, and then we announced his signing to great fanfare. So, there you go. I've chucked a little quiz back at you. Fail.
Well, I know, I got 50% right, so...
Yeah, there's one of those quizzes where you have to get all the answers right, or you...
No, I was told, I've followed the rule that actually getting 50% in exams throughout my life was actually all right.
Look at you now. Success story.
Now, Dan, we love a little dip into YouTube nostalgia, don't we?
We do, Matt, and so do our listeners, actually, because our last episode, which was a deep dive into YouTube, is our most watched and listened to ever, which is really exciting. You, though, Matt, missed out on some of that because you were sunning yourself and at pool parties in Corfu. So I'm going to give you a little chance this week, Matt, to dig out a little piece of your favourite nostalgia. Go on.
Okay. Dan, I want to talk to you about the greatest ever goalkeeping performance ever in the history of football. And not only is it the greatest ever goalkeeping performance in the history of football, it happened in an Oxford United shirt and it happened on live TV. I want to take you back to 1992-93. I want to take you to Derby away, Oxford away at Derby. Now, this was in the days of the Central TV live game on a Sunday, which, some of our younger listeners will probably find it hard to believe that we had games on kind of ITV on a Sunday afternoon. Some of our older listeners will remember that very well. We weren't on that often. We often didn't do great. But this day, we were also not great, but for one performance. So at the time, Brian Horton was manager, and we were a bit rubbish. We weren't the greatest, and we were going away to Derby and expecting to frankly get spanked. And we didn't, for some reason, I can't remember exactly why, we didn't have a very solid goalkeeper setup. I'm not sure if we'd had keepers on poor run of form, if we had a few injuries. But anyway, our manager, Brian Horton, took a bit of a punt on a goalkeeper called Paul Rees, who no one had ever heard of. And when Oxford United dug into who this chap was, we found out that he was recently released by Grimsby Town, I think it was. And so it didn't fill us with a lot of confidence. Anyway, I went to this game, Derby away, not in the away end, but in the home end, because I have a lot of family in that area of the country, in the East Midlands, and so I have quite a few friends who are Derby fans. So my mate said, do you want to come in the home end with us? And I was like, yeah, well, listen, we're going to get absolutely spanked anyway. It's fine to go in the Derby end, and there won't be a lot to celebrate anyway. Kick-off happened, and Derby literally spent 90 minutes throwing absolutely everything at us. And this chap called Paul Rees stopped absolutely everything. This was the Derby team of Gabby Adini's, your Paul Kitsons, your Tommy Johnsons. I think even Craig Short was in that team, actually.
Paul Simpson as well.
Simo was in that, and they threw absolutely everything. And when I say absolutely everything, I think Derby must have had about 30 shots on Rees stopped everything. So, with about 12, 13 minutes left, I thought, you know what, we could be in for a point here. I'll go one better on that. Jim Magilton, I think pretty much our first corner of the game, chips one in, it gets headed out. Johnny Durnin on the volley, 1-0 to Oxford United, 11 minutes left. The greatest robbery ever caught on camera. Derby fans around me could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. All down to that man, Paul Rees. And it was only after that I learned he was from Nottingham. So imagine how he must have felt putting in a performance like that against Derby. And this story has one step further, because years and years later, I met Paul Rees on a night out in the East Midlands. True story. I went, Are you Paul Rees? He goes, yeah, I am. He goes, Derby away. That's all I said to him. And he just laughed and laughed. Paul Rees, absolute legend. Go and see, Dan's just been playing some shots there. Go and see this game out on YouTube. Honestly, about 25, 30 very good, decent saves. Absolute world beater.
Really funny you mentioned that game, Matt, because I was living in London. We had a different match because on Sunday afternoons they showed a different game, depending which region you're in. And we had, it's always Millwall. For some reason they loved Millwall at the time. But at the end of the Millwall game, they cut to like the Oxford game. And they said, so yeah, the other game that's happened today has been at the baseball ground. They show this kind of string of incredible saves. And obviously this is before like social media. So me and my brother had no idea like what had happened. We'd just seen on CFAX that we were 1-0 up. And we were watching it. And we're like, oh my God, this is incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. And then obviously there's the smash and grab, as you rightly said at the end. And it's just an unbelievable string of saves. And they cut back to Ian St. John in the studio afterwards. He said, bloody hell, right? That was a bloody great selection of saves. That's my Scottish accent for you there.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I think Paul Rees went on a little run of just, continuing to have a good few games, but his Oxford career didn't last too much longer.
He had an amazing game at the end of that season away at Watford, where again he saved absolutely everything. And we did a smash and grab. He was also, Matt, maybe when you met him in the nightclub, he was either quite a well-known DJ, or he was dating a very well-known DJ, I think.
He was quite a good-looking chap, wasn't he?
He was a good-looking chap.
You could tell that he spent quite a long time in nightclubs and bars.
Just a little catch-up on a few outstanding issues from previous episodes. Firstly, a quick delve into our socials, where our video about Phil Trainor's free kick at Rushton has now been watched by over 17,000 people on all platforms.
Are you joking? Are you telling me Phil Trainor's gone viral? Phil Trainor's absolutely thrilled about that, Dan.
He's quite a hard-looking fella, so I hope he hasn't spotted it and is tracking us down. Yeah, 17,000. So, yeah. Probably, I mean, how many people would have been out of the game? 2,000 or 3,000? So it's amazing it's had this second lease of life. Those who watched episode 3 of season 2 on YouTube would have noticed that I totally forgot to edit in Andy Hill's photo of his John Aldridge match-worn, signed 1984 Spall shirt. So at the Leicester game, he chased me down and made me take some photos of it. Let me see if I can play this for you now. Here you go, Matt. Here are the photos. That is the shirt in question. You can see that as in the concourse of the East Stand. That's the John Aldridge signature on his shirt. Look at that. That's a real beauty. Now, the amazing thing about it, Matt, is how bloody small it is, because that lad modelling it there is called Reggie, who's a big fan of the show. He is 10 years old, and it's quite a good fit on him. And it hasn't shrunk for anything.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess it's lucky you didn't try on.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much to Reggie for modelling that. He said he's a big fan of the show. He said, please, can it be in the show? And I've said, well, I'm happy to use these photos on the condition that he plays our YouTube recording on repeat overnight. Makes all his mates do the same thing. That'll be good for our stats.
Keep clicking, keep refreshing. But I love that. I absolutely love that, Reggie. And actually, that shirt looks decidedly yellow for considering how old it is. So
it was a beautiful thing. Thank you very much, Andy Hill, for tracking me down. Finally, Matt.
Go on.
I hope you have good legal representation.
Go on.
This is a total surprise to Matt. I had a message from someone the other day, someone whose name we mention quite regularly in the podcast, and I absolutely 100% swear this is true.
Which one of you is Matt Goodrick? I hear you keep talking about me in your silly podcast. I'm telling you, you'd better be saying nice things about me, or you'll be hearing from my attorneys. I won't have the good name of John Narbert mentioned in your podcast, unless you let me come on the next show to talk about my prolific career with Hereford and how Oxford completely underused me. Matt, I'll be waiting your reply.
Wait a minute. That's AI. That's you've put that into ChatGPT, John Narbert AI.
That is 100%.
Are you kidding me?
That is 100% John Narbert. John Narbert, we can now safely call him a friend of the podcast. We've given him enough mentions. Do you want the full story?
Go on.
Well, funny enough, after we mentioned him, you know how social media listens to you. One of my Facebook recommendations as a friend came up, John Narbert. I thought, well, I can't possibly not befriend him. So I messaged him and I said, would you mind considering coming onto our podcast at some point? And I was going to do it like this week, but obviously then we rushed out this podcast in light of our amazing win. So I got him to record a little message for you. That is John Narbert. We are going to have to get him on properly at some point.
100%. I would love to chat to him. I'd be slightly scared, but I'd love to chat to him. That is honestly one of the most incredible things. I'm a bit speechless, to be perfectly honest.
I knew that'd be a little surprise. John Narbert, yeah, friend now of the pod. You're going to have to get Colin Greenall on for us, Matt.
Double.
That's the challenge. If you get Colin Greenall, you win.
Okay, nearly done. We need to do a very quick preview of the upcoming next few games, but shall we just delve back into that quiz and your answers, Dan? So a reminder to listeners, I was looking for Chris Wilder's final game in charge, his starting 11 that day. It was a 1-0 win against Torquay. So Dan, I want the starting 11. Let's see how many of these you get.
I've got a midfield deficit. I've gone totally blank on the midfielders. I'm going to go Clark in goal.
Yeah.
Newey, Hunt, Jake Wright. Can't think of I can't think of another central defender of that era. Smalley, Bino, Potter, Kitson, maybe O'Dowda. Let me chuck in an O'Dowda. That's all I've written down.
Okay, you got 6 out of 11, which is pretty good.
Okay.
So Clark,
Newey,
Hunt, John Mullins, Jay Wright,
Mullins, of course.
Newey,
yeah,
Ryan Williams,
yeah, it was good.
Mickey Rowe. Exactly.
We'll get him on. Okay. He's the new John Narbert.
Daniel Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one I thought you might get. Ruffles.
Of course.
Bino, you're right. And Smalley, you're right. And then I was going to give you a bonus point for the goal scorer that day in a 1-0 win against Torquay.
I mean, Smalley.
Yes, boy.
Okay, good. All right.
And then for the double bonus points, which you'll never get, I don't think, the 2 subs that day. Who came on?
So Potter wasn't one of them, no? No. I doubt. Oh, that lad, the striker, the young lad. Roberts. No.
I'll tell you.
Go on.
Michael Rains came off Jay Wright and Sean Rigg came on for Josh Ruffles.
The Rig, not Sean Reck, who I was having a chat before. Oh, no, not bad. 6 plus a bonus point. That's 12 in total.
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, let's preview the next upcoming games. Sheffield United.
Yeah. So should we just, in the round, should we just look at the next 4 games? Because you've got Sheffield United, bottom of the table, QPR, Beatsport and around us, Watford, same points as us, and Derby, same points as us. So it's kind of exciting, isn't it? But I don't want to get too overexcited.
But 3 of them away. Watford and QPR are definitely away. Derby, is that away or?
I think that's at home.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, winnable. But we said all of this last season, especially bloody QPR. We gave ourselves 6 points against QPR and we took precisely 0. Saved goal. I mean, my next door neighbour is literally a QPR fan and he couldn't believe how bad we were in both the games last year. Who knows, Matt? I mean, I think we're a very, very different team. So, and
I'm excited too because I am actually going to be able to go to all 4 of these games because I've been a bit Carlton Fairweather on the both games this season, but I'm there for all 4 of those games. That's exciting.
That is exciting. Good. Yeah, I think I'm at all 4 as well, actually. We can get together and we can go and meet people outside the ground and start our podcast, which I know you love doing.
Yeah. So in terms of a preview, that was our in-depth insight. But yeah, we might do quite well in the next 4 games and we're excited by them.
I think that's the kind of analysis that people come to this very popular podcast for, Matt.
Exactly that.
Well, I think it's been a lot of fun.
Been a lot of fun. I still can't quite get over the John Narbert thing, so I'm just going to go for a little lie down. But it's been a pleasure chatting, Dan.
Yep. We'll see you, listeners, in our next episode, hopefully with the Narb Meister, the Narbo. Any questions for him, Matt? What are you going to ask him?
Nervous. I'm very nervous.
Successful businessman now living in Chicago. You got any financial advice you need or anything? It's been a lot of fun, Matt. Thanks for doing it, and I'll see you on Saturday. Thanks for listening, listeners.
See you Saturday. Thanks for listening, all, and see you next time.
Take care.
The big man with a big goal on the big occasion.